In Story Begins he went in without hesitation, not even pausing, just stuffing it in non-stop. In the blink of an eye, the mountain-like hunting dog was completely eaten. Then he went to the toilet, squatted down, and unleashed a torrent. Unexpectedly, what came out were US dollars. His face twitched, his backside shook, and a pile of coins dropped out as well. Overjoyed, he took the money to pay the bill. But as soon as he came out, he crossed the road without looking at the signal. The next second, he was hit by a car and sent flying, crashing heavily onto the ground. The woman in the car hurriedly ran out. Just as she was about to call an ambulance, the man suddenly sat up. Startled, she stared at the big guy in disbelief. When she turned her head, she noticed his foot was injured and quickly ran back to the car to call the police. But when she looked up again, she was completely stunned, the man had vanished. Meanwhile, he limped into an alley. A golden light emerged from his ear, opening a door, revealing several tiny people inside. They threw out a ball of yarn and climbed down step by step like using a ladder. They arrived in the outskirts, pressed a spot beside a small building, and opened another door. Inside were many wires, and they began repairs. It turned out that the big guy was actually an alien spaceship, controlled by many tiny beings inside. Their planet had run out of water, so they were searching for a water source in space. But their water-absorbing device accidentally crashed through glass and fell into a fish tank. In the next second, all the water in the tank was completely drained. The spaceship came to Earth searching for the device, but ended up crashing headfirst near the Statue of Liberty. Fortunately, with alien technology, it wasn't damaged. He stretched out his hands, and a green arc flashed, instantly clearing the dust off his body. However, being new to Earth, he didn't even know how to walk and was curious about everything around him. When an old lady smiled at him, he stared closely, his lips twitching unconsciously. Then he opened his huge mouth, scaring a beautiful woman into running away. Suddenly, he saw a couple kissing. Curious, he leaned in, not understanding what they were doing, and stuck out his tongue to imitate them. Later, he was found by the woman who had hit him earlier. To better understand humans, he decided to visit her home. But when he drank water, he spilled it everywhere, causing chaos for the tiny beings inside him. When asked to crack an egg, he crushed it violently and stirred it with brute force, with surprisingly effective results. Then he grabbed a bottle of ketchup, tilted his head back, and gulped it all down, leaving the woman stunned. Suddenly, a cat ran over and circled around him. After analyzing it, the woman concluded that the animal was dangerous, so he lifted his foot and kicked the cat away. Then he noticed a photograph, and saw a boy in it. He was holding a water-absorbing ball in his hand, so he quickly turned around and left to find Xiao Shuai at school. But what he didn't expect was that the ball had been snatched away by the school bully. This man was no ordinary person, he could actually pull out US dollars, and with a bit of force, a pile of coins would fall out too. When he arrived at the school, the children didn't think he looked like a teacher. So Dazhuang used both hands to write rapidly on the blackboard, and in the blink of an eye, he had written down the universe's #1 law. When a boy wanted to sharpen his pencil, Dazhuang turned around, stuck the pencil into his nostril, and instantly sharpened it. After class, he called Xiao Shuai outside and told him the water-absorbing ball had been taken by the bully, then they went to the school shop to find him. Just then, 2 robbers rushed in. Dazhuang clenched his fist and with a light pull, flung a 300-pound fat man into the air. Then he stretched out his delicate hand and squeezed the gun barrel flat, scaring the robbers into running away. Dazhuang and Xiao Shuai returned home and started playing games together. Just by watching Dazhuang's hand speed, you could tell how skilled he was. Coincidentally, it was Xiaomei's birthday that day, so the 3 of them went to the amusement park in the evening to celebrate. While riding the carousel, the robot inside the spaceship had a rough time. During a big eating contest, Dazhuang devoured hot dogs one after another without even chewing, eating with great enthusiasm. But he ate too much, and the spaceship couldn't hold it all, so he rushed to the bathroom and had a massive release. This made the constipated old man next to him furious. Shut off. But as soon as he came out, he saw the school bully picking on Xiao Shuai again. Luckily, Dazhuang stopped him in time, flipped him upside down, and successfully retrieved the water-absorbing ball. After returning to the amusement park, Dazhuang threw a baseball, but his strength was too great, the ball flew back and hit his temple, causing him to faint. It turned out the spaceship was running low on energy, and various sensors had malfunctioned. However, with the help of a device, some energy was restored, and Dazhuang sat up again. Xiaomei was overjoyed. After a few days together, Dazhuang felt the warmth and kindness of humans on Earth. He even danced with Xiaomei, while the tiny people inside the spaceship began celebrating as well. What they didn't know was that the police had already found the crash site of the spaceship and used advanced technology to reconstruct Dazhuang's appearance, launching a full-scale search. Just as Dazhuang was dancing, he was caught by the police. Because there were so many people around, he didn't resist and was taken to the police station. While he was being interrogated, the vice captain led his men to seize the captain, believing he was too weak and incompetent. They shackled him and locked him up. Then the vice captain took over. He stretched out his finger, and a cannon emerged from it. The man lifted his ring finger, and another cannon appeared. With a loud boom, a hole was blasted into the wall 2 meters away. Immediately, a huge man walked out from the hole, and the two sides began a fierce gunfight. However, the bullets hitting the big man had no effect at all. Suddenly, a tiny person crawled out of an ear, cried out, and jumped down, landing right into a cup of cola. The big man raised his hand, shattering the tempered glass, and strode out dominantly. Outside, the FBI forces kept increasing, but the big man didn't waste words. With a small gesture of his hand, a car exploded. On the other side, a woman knocked out a guard, inserted the key, and escaped from the captain's cabin. But as soon as she got out, she was surrounded and had no choice but to surrender. Seeing this, the vice captain pressed a button, and 2 people were sprayed out from a nose. As soon as they stood up, they saw a giant basketball rolling toward them. Terrified, they rushed to the corner of the wall, only to be splashed with dog urine the next second. They hurriedly dodged, but were then blown away by a hairdryer. After several rolls, the woman landed on the ground, but her foot got stuck in chewing gum and couldn't be pulled free. Suddenly, a taxi came by. They quickly crouched down, and fortunately, the tire treads were large enough for them to escape danger. To return to the spaceship, they grabbed a plastic bag and used the heat from the sewer to float upward. Unexpectedly, a bus came and slammed them onto the windshield. They had to cling tightly to the wipers. At that moment, they saw the spaceship. Using the strong momentum, they let go, dived down, landed on a leather shoe, and then climbed up through the pant leg. Meanwhile, the big man grabbed a taxi and arrived at the seaside, holding a water-absorbing ball. After crushing its disguise, he swung his arm, about to throw it, but his right hand suddenly stopped. It turned out the captain had regained partial control, preventing the throw. The big man did a backflip and fell to the ground, and the ball rolled away, dropping into the ocean. Instantly, a massive whirlpool appeared on the sea. If the water-absorbing ball wasn't retrieved in time, the entire ocean would be drained. At that moment, the captain regained control again. With a small gesture, a green light emerged, and the ball flew back into his hand. The next second, he collapsed to his knees due to lack of energy. A large number of FBI agents arrived, but the big man was already motionless. Seeing this, the young man drew his sword and stabbed the big man. After a surge of electricity, the spaceship regained energy. In the next moment, it opened its mouth, and the captain walked out, saying a final goodbye to the woman. Then, a golden light burst from beneath his feet, and he slowly rose into the air. A beam of bright light enveloped him. At the critical moment, the giant foot slowly detached, revealing itself to be a flying device. It transformed into a spaceship and left Earth with the tiny people, while the big man remained behind with the spacecraft. If you like my video, please subscribe.